Hello again, chaps and chapettes. How are we all doing? It's lovely to see you all again, as always. Just a quick disclaimer, guys, before we go any further. I've done a video about this in the past. I'm going to be talking about the riots that happened in this country last month. The reason I want to revisit this subject is because of a Guardian article that I posted in my community tab earlier yesterday afternoon. So if you want to skip this on, please do feel free. You're not going to be missing much that you haven't heard already. So basically what this is about is some chinless wonder in the Guardian called Tim Newburn, who seems completely oblivious and completely ignorant as to why people actually got pissed off last month. He writes in the Guardian here: racism, poverty, drink and social media. We still don't know why Britain's rioted a month ago and we need answers. Now this guy is either complete ignorant, like I say, or he's thick as pig shit. Probably a mixture of the two, considering he's writing for the pissing Guardian. It is just over a month since the first riots broke out in Southport, seemingly provoked by rumours containing false information about the alleged identity of the attacker, who killed 3 children and injured 8 others, as well as 2 adults at a Taylor Swift-themed dance class. 5 further days of disorder followed in a number of English towns and cities and in Northern Ireland, with the rioters apparently taking their lead from what happened in Southport. Violence was aimed at immigrants, at mosques, at Asian-owned businesses, and at hotels and other locations where immigrants were thought to be housed. Right, it's enough of his waffle. Even having his website open is giving me indigestion. So, Mr. Tim Newburn, if you're not going to say it, I'll fucking well say it for you. It had nothing to do with racism. It had nothing to do with social media. It had nothing to do with booze. What it did have something to do with is people not wanting their children to be brutally murdered in the streets. But it's not just that, it's an accumulation of things. The numerous attacks we have had in this country over the last 20-30 years, it's all been building up inside people, and they have not been allowed to release their anger because it's always been suppressed. You are not allowed to talk about this. That makes you a racist. Don't say that, that makes you a bad person. It's all just boiled up and imploded into what we saw last month. People basically beating the shit out of their streets. Now let's just look at it, shall we? We have seen the murder of Lee Rigby. We have seen people being stabbed on Westminster Bridge. We have seen David Amos be murdered. We have seen the grooming gangs over in Rotherham and Telford and Oxford. We have seen the Ariana Grande concert being blown up. We have seen the July 7th bombings in London happen. All these things have been building up in each and every single person who took to the streets those days, and they are letting out their frustrations because they have had no other way to release it. They have not been allowed to speak about it. If you even utter a word about immigration, you are demonised, shot down and trapped like a fucking criminal piece of scum. No one has been able to talk about anything. What other way are you supposed to release? You kick the shit out of something. Because if you're not allowed to talk, you're not allowed to act, you're not allowed to debate, it's the only other avenue. That's why you get these shitholes across the Middle East and Africa who have civil wars, because they are living under oppression, they are living under a dictatorship, and the only way they can release their anger and their frustration is by killing each other and kicking the shit out of their streets. It's got bugger all to do with social media. It's got fuck all to do with booze. It's got bugger all to do with racism. It's pent up aggression. Now let me ask you this, guys. If we had zero immigration, I don't mean net zero, I don't mean per capita, none of that bullshit. If we had a flat line, no immigration for the last 30 years, every single one of them incidents that I mentioned, the Ariana Grande concert, people getting stabbed in Westminster, David Amos being murdered, Lee Rigby being murdered, the July 7th bombing, if we had zero immigration, not one single one of them events would ever have happened. Do you see where I'm going with this? Do you see why people are so pissed off? Do you see why people attacked mosques? Do you see why people went to attack illegal immigrants? Because there has been so many events over the course of 20, 30 years involving migrant people who shouldn't be in this country. Pent up aggression, can't release the valve, can't talk about it, can't debate, equals violence, equals riots. I am not condoning it, I am just explaining to this bold twat here that it's got nothing to do with racism, or nothing to do with social media, or nothing to do with fucking alcohol. That's a lot, guys. I just wanted to bring that up because this article riled me. It rubbed me up the wrong way. It made my teeth itch. That's why I made this video. So this chinless wonder can, yeah, you can F off for all I care. That's all I'm going to say on the matter, guys. I won't talk about this again. It's old news. It's going over old rope. I'm not really keen on doing that on my YouTube channel. I do try and keep it as, oh, I don't know, as mixed up as I possibly can. But yeah, well, there we go. That's the end of my video. Enough waffle. There we go. Let me know what you think in the comments. And I'll see you in a bit. Cheers.